What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to my channel. My name is Ben and this is 3T's Mobile Automotive Repair. Today we've got for you a 1995 F-150 with a straight six. Customer states that the cluster doesn't work and it has a harsh shift. Let's go check this thing out and see what's going on. All right, y'all, welcome back. So we've got a 1995 F-150. This thing's got a harsh shift and the speedo doesn't work. So if you know anything about these older trucks, only reason why I do is because I owned one years ago and I kind of remember dealing with a lot of things on it. But this has a module processor that's built into the speedo. It accepts a signal from the vehicle speed sensor. And from that vehicle speed sensor, it sends an output to the PCM. It is a known failure, and in my experience, it's easier just to jump into the back of this cluster and test to make sure that we're getting our signal out and in from the vehicle speed sensor and see if the microprocessor is actually sending it out to the PCM in order to control our shifting. So the first thing we're gonna do is get the gnats out of my face. We're gonna get this cluster off, and then we're gonna get to the back side of it, start back pinning, and see as we move the truck if we get a signal from the vehicle speed sensor in the rear end up to the cluster. If that's good, then we will take a look at the cluster and make sure it's sending out a signal to the PCM. As long as I get this dash cover off without breaking it. Something. So if you bear with me here, I will get you some wiring diagrams. I'll show it to you so that way you can see exactly what we're doing. Like I said, the only reason why I kind of know what to do is I've done it before in the past, and I figured this will be a good thing to show you guys an older vehicle versus all the new stuff that we typically work on. Diagrams. Let's go interactive first, I guess. That way I can show you that. And we'll go from there. All right, so bear with me. All right, here's our cluster. Okay, so this is what it's called, a programmable speedometer odometer module, all right? So we need to check our powers and grounds, right? Battery power, ground, ignition power. Let me get a screwdriver. So battery, ground, ignition power. So we're gonna have an input, vehicle speed sensor input, and then a vehicle speed sensor return. So I'm gonna assume output to the speed sensor and then back in. But this output right here, that one, I'll show you what that means here in just a second. But that is typically what goes out to our PCM. So if we go to OEM, it should give us a note on that. Let's go through, find our cluster. Here. Okay, so yeah, right here, if we look, all functions of module controlled by integrated microprocessor. It receives an input from the rear axle sensor and converts the signal to a standard 8,000 pulses per mile speed sensor signal, or speed signal output. Signal is then provided to the PCM and speed control servo amplifier assembly. So that's on this one right here, this gray and black. The light green and black and the red and pink are what go to and come from, or just come from the vehicle speed sensor into that module. This is our power. This is our power. This is hot at all times, and this is hot and run. And then here's our ground. So we're not worried about this one right now, but we need to check these 5 wires right here to make sure, or 4, 5, 6 wires, to make sure we have everything we need. So let me just make sure I have the proper connector in place, and then I'll bring you a little closer to show you what's going on. What is that? Oh, that's that old truck over there. Piece of junk. All right, so basically this connector right here is the one we need to do our testing on. Okay. Not really gonna be able to show you much of the... Oh, there goes a socket under the seat. Son of a monkey's uncle. Yep, 13.7 volts. So when you're looking at this little scope, look down in this corner. That's where it's going to show you my actual voltage. You can see the line in reference to the yellow spot right here. Let me see if I can change that a little bit for you. So if you assume that this bottom line is ground, you can see where the yellow tracer line is. And if you read the bottom, you'll know where our voltage is actually at. So we're at 13 volts on that one. Pin 3 is white and purple. Same thing, 13.5 volts. Let's find our ground, which is pin 2. Is it pin 2? Yeah. Let me go get something else just to give you guys a little bit more clarity. So we'll get our little shuck load gauge here. It's not 100% necessary, but it'll work. That way you can visually see that the grounds and the powers are good, assuming my ground is good here. All right, I'm back pinned into the ground side. Here's our main battery side. And here is our hot and run side. So powers and grounds are fantastic. All right, so next is going to be, let's see, where's the other end of my scope? Where'd it go? Oh. All right, so pins 4 and 5. Actually, I could just go straight to pin 7. If pin 7 has an output, then we're golden. So let's check that one first. What color is that? That's gray and black. All right, we're in reverse. Yep. Yeah, you guys are gonna have to go right there for a minute. Okay, I've got absolutely nothing on that line whatsoever. It stays completely dead at 0. So let's check our pins 4 and 5, which is 4 is red and pink and 5 is light green and black. We're gonna check the red and pink first. I've got 5 volts on that line. So I've got absolutely nothing coming out of that wheel speed sensor in the back. Let me go get a multimeter so I can check some resistance. Holy Jiminy Crickets right now. What the hell, balls? That's wild. All right, we need to go test at the sensor because I'm getting OL up here. Okay, let's go back to our sensor. Gotta lay on the ground. All right, this is what we're testing here. So, bear with me. That definitely did not feel like it was plugged in all the way. I don't know, maybe it was. Well, I'm gonna play hell trying to do this. So we're gonna put this here. While I attempt to do this. All right, so it's 1.13 kilo ohms. So why am I getting nothing through my cable? Let's plug this back in. Because like I said, I feel like maybe it wasn't fully plugged in all the way. Oh. I found it. I found it. Oh, look at this shit. Right here. Wire broken. I guess I could have done a visual inspection first, but then why would I have done it? I mean, to each their own. You can go wherever you want on your initial check first. So, okay, let's do a fix on this, and then let's see if everything works at that point. So, I'll be right back. I need to go get some things to fix that, and yeah, I'll be right back. Okay, so don't jump my shit, but I'm just using this for now so we can test and make sure everything works. If everything works, I'll come under here and do a full proper repair on the wiring. Try to get this cluster back in real quick. Oh, cool. All right. Not even gonna bother with the scope test. We're just gonna see if our speedo works. So, let's watch that. Let me start moving here a little. Yeah, it's working. All right, cool. Let me just get out on the road here a minute. It's a real dead road here. It's a back road. But there you go. There's your speedometer. It's working. Now, you know, like I said, I could have found that much quicker The problem I have here, though, again, and now, don't get me wrong, I am not going to call a name out here because we just talked about this the other day on, or I didn't talk about it, the Jaded Mechanic podcast. Scanner Danner, Check Engine Chuck, Keith Perkins, and Jeff Compton were all talking about how, you know, they're not going to call out another company or shop or something by name anymore. And I'm not either. So this is not that type of situation. But this customer put 2 transmissions in this vehicle for this problem. Why did another shop sell them another transmission? I don't understand. I just don't get why you would have done that because of a harsh shift. Do your research. Read on the vehicle. Now, that doesn't mean this thing doesn't have a harsh shift still. I haven't driven it. You saw me take it down the road about 2.3 fucking seconds. The point I'm making is that you should probably diagnose something before you just start throwing transmissions in it. So, anyway, that's it. I'm done. I need to go and fix the wiring back there, put a proper connection on it. Let me shut this off before it gets too hot by the exhaust. I need to go fix that. And then I'll go on a proper test drive, but that's it. That's all that we have to do on this truck today. We will be back on this truck another day. He's got some vacuum AC problems that we need to diagnose, but I hope that helps you. 90% of the time, it is the cluster. And this time, it was not. There's a broken wire for some reason. We're gonna fix that, and he should be golden. We'll get it out on the road and make sure it shifts good, and we'll check back with him in about a week or so. So outside of that, I appreciate you guys. If you like what we're doing, don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll see you on the next job. That's a happy customer right there. It's always a good feeling when you come out, diagnose something for someone, and it's a simple repair. Even though we don't make a ton of money on it, we just make diag time and a simple wiring repair. Customers that are like, they're beyond themselves and beyond the fact that they don't have to spend thousands more because that's what they were told, is such a good feeling. So anyway, job's done. I already did my wiring repair. Just wanted to give you an update that this customer is extremely happy on the job. So I'm going to get cleaned up and I'm going to get the hell out of here. I'll see you guys on the next one.